Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 12th back seminars. My name is Youngjun Choi. I'm a Vice Chair of KOMYRA and a Professor of Gyeonggi University. It is a great honor to be the moderator of this valuable the seminar. So this seminar is the second time the on and offline seminars on the Myanmar economy and the Myanmar development policy. So this is a second time. So we will have the seminars from now on. So first of all, I would like to invite the chairman of the KOMYRA for the welcoming remark. He is Professor Kang Shin-won. I will invite him.
Good afternoon, Mglaba. 안녕하세요. Welcome to the 12th back seminar. And I am Kang Shin-won, the chair of KOMYRA, and nice to meet you all. And today the weather is really great, so it's a really good weather for the seminar. First of all, I would like to thank Myanmar Ambassador, Mr. Woo Tan-sin, who delivered welcome message. Also, special thanks to the Mr. Wang Ji-so, former Secretary General of the UNFCCI, and for online presentation in Myanmar. And thanks to the Ms. Win Papatu, Economic Counselor of the Myanmar Embassy, and then special thanks to Professor Han Jung-hyu of Ina University. Also, I would like to thank KOMYRA and Myanmar lab member for their hard work for this wonderful online seminar. The 12th back seminar will be held under the theme Understanding Myanmar Millennial Consumption Behavior. In order to better understanding the Myanmar market, we hold a seminar on the consumption behavior of the millennial generation in Myanmar. Understanding the target consumer is key to the fundamental of any business. By understanding consumer, we can minimize failure in doing business and lead our business to success. Therefore, we hope that through this seminar, people who are interested in Myanmar will be able to help them understand Myanmar millennial consumer generation a little more. This seminar is held in the parallel with the online and offline as in April. This seminar tried to hold simultaneously in Korea and Myanmar through the online. In Myanmar, Mr. Wang Ji-so make a presentation online. Those who could not participate in this seminar this time can be watch a video on YouTube and Facebook later. The last back seminar was held in Korean. However, this back seminar will be held in English, considering the participant of Myanmar. This seminar is jointly held by KOMYRA and Myanmar Lab. In this near future, maybe next month, we will hold the seminar again based on the demand-based topics. We appreciate in your interest and cooperation. Thank you. 제주된 발에 감사합니다.
Okay, thank you for the present. And this seminar actually is made by the collaboration of the Myanmar Embassy in Korea and the UNFCCI in in Yangon and also the KOMYRA. So three organizations has collaborated to making this the seminars. So this time I would like to have some the congratulatory remark from the ambassador of the Myanmar to Korea. So the Woo Tan-sin, the ambassador of the Myanmar to Korea, will give a congratulatory remark.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm honored to be invited at the KOMYRA Quebec seminar to deliver a congratulatory remarks. This seminar provides a valuable forum for practitioners and experts to discuss current events that are unfolding during the time of coronavirus pandemic and seeks ways to promote economic development in Myanmar in the post-pandemic scenario. This seminar will also set a platform to start engaging in further enhancement of bilateral relations, focusing on trade and economic cooperation between our two countries. This marks the 45th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Myanmar and Korea. To commemorate the anniversary, leaders from both nations exchanged letters of felicitation on May 19 by confirming the enhancement of the bond of friendships between the two countries. In recent years, political interaction at the highest level has increased. As two leaders have committed to consolidate and promote the existing friendly relations by implementing the agreements signed during the visit of President Moon Jae-in to Myanmar in September and the visit of State Councillor Daw Aung San Suu Kyi to Korea in November last year. Another new southern policy initiated by President Moon, Myanmar and Korea are enjoying fruitful and cooperative relations that have been escalating rapidly in the past 2 years. Since Korea became the sixth largest trading partner of Myanmar, trade flow between our two countries have been steadily increasing year by year. Therefore, despite the recent pandemic that has been occurring around the world, development partners, investors, and business representatives from the two countries are anxiously waiting for the resumption of development projects in Myanmar. In this vein, participants at this seminar could also explore ways and means to positively contribute in strengthening the mutual beneficial cooperation of our two countries. I look forward to exploring further avenues of collaboration and engagement through this seminar. Finally, I want to express my gratitude to Professor Chong Young-jun of Kyunghee University and other organizers for making this event possible. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Ambassador. Now I'd like to move to the presentation. So today, our topic of the seminar is understanding Myanmar Millennial consumption behavior. But this time we prepared the two topics because we are in the coronavirus. Actually, the coronavirus is impacting our economy as well as in the Myanmar economy. So since we, even though we did have the back seminars the last month about the economic impact of the COVID-19 on Myanmar, but still the coronavirus is impacting the Myanmar economy. So we will try to understand the Myanmar the current economic situation, the impact by the coronavirus. So we have three the presentation. One is the two are on the impact of the economic impact of the COVID-19 in Myanmar, and then the third one we will have some presentation on the consumption behavior of Myanmar millennial. So first of all, I'd like to invite some presentation from the Myanmar embassy in Korea. The economic counselor, the Win Papatu, she will present the current economic situation of the Myanmar. So she will present the Myanmar economic trends in post-pandemic, and she will present some the economic the situation of the current Myanmar. So I'd like to invite her to the presentation.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm very glad to be invited as one of the speakers at this KOMYRA KSU BAC seminar. Before starting my presentation, may I introduce myself firstly? My name is Miss Win Papatu, Economic Counselor of Embassy of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar in Seoul. I have been working in Myanmar Embassy Seoul for 1 year and have been gaining experience and knowledge mainly from this country day by day. It is a great pleasure for me to get this opportunity to share the current situation of COVID-19 in Myanmar and Myanmar government preparation for post-pandemic. Let me share COVID-19 pandemic situation in Myanmar briefly. Eventually, COVID-19 pandemic was occurred in Myanmar starting from late March on 23rd March 2020. Therefore, the COVID-19 pandemic was late compared to other countries like Korea and other ASEAN countries. In early January, the government of Myanmar began screening tests to all travelers who were entering Myanmar by different modes. In mid-March, all border points and international airports were suspended as well as visa issuing. After that, the government cancelled the celebration of our country's biggest annual holiday. All of this shutdown will be affected until 31st May 2020. Before studying COVID-19 pandemic outbreak in Myanmar, Ministry of Health and Sports, in conjunction with Ministry of International Cooperation, formed Central Committee Prevention, Control and Treatment of COVID-19 led by its Union Minister. After that, it was upgraded to National Level Central Committee chaired by State Councillor Her Excellency Dr. Aung San Suu Kyi on 30th March 2020 and followed by forming COVID-19 Emergency Response Committee led by Vice President and member with Union Minister. The National Level Central Committee is steering in all COVID-19 related matters. Then, the Working Committee chaired by His Excellency U Thong Thon, Union Minister for Investment and Foreign Economic Relations, to address the impact of COVID-19 on the country economy was established as well. Next slide shows the current Myanmar status for COVID-19 as of 26 May 2020 morning, according to the data from Ministry of Health and Sports Myanmar. As of 26 May, a total of 203 confirmed cases and 123 recovery cases with 6 deaths. With a view to preventing importation and spread of COVID-19, the government of Myanmar has temporarily suspended the entry of all foreign nationals through border checkpoints being opened between Myanmar and its neighboring country on March 19, 2020. Then, all airlines operating international air service to and from Myanmar suspended temporarily on March 29, 2020 to May 15, 2020, and then extended to May 31, 2020. However, according to humanitarian relief, Myanmar Embassy Seoul is arranging relief flight on every Friday for Myanmar citizens around the world who are in dire situation to enter Myanmar. The Korean Air has been requesting the Myanmar government via our embassy to resume its air services to and from Myanmar on June 1st, 2020, twice a week, Monday and Friday. In early April, the government began distributing 5 items of essential food supply to people in the low-income category across the country. From the COVID-19 Fund for Resettlement of Economic Sector, 100 billion loans with 1% interest rates to affected micro, small and medium enterprise, including cutting, making, packing, CMP, and hotel and tourism business is being loaned to require applicant. Myanmar government is issuing the loan according to the eligible application. While taking this opportunity, I would like to introduce all of you about the Myanmar Economic Stimulus Package, known as COVID-19 Economic Relief Plan (CERP), to overcome the current situation and recover the country economy. Myanmar government announced the COVID-19 Economic Relief Plan (CERP) on 27 April 2020. The CERP consists of 7 goals, 10 strategy, 36 action plan, and the economic relief programs are being implemented. 7 goals of CERP as shown in the slide. The government promised more policy to mitigate the impact of the pandemic. These slides are shown for the trade volume of Myanmar and bilateral trade between Myanmar and Korea. In recent years, political interaction at the highest level has increased as 2 leaders have committed to consolidate and promote the existing friendly relation. The bilateral trade between Myanmar and Korea has been steadily increasing year by year. In terms of investment, Korea stands as 6th largest investor in Myanmar. Top investment sectors are oil and gas sector, power sector, and manufacturing sector. Currently, Korean firms in Myanmar are investing mostly in oil and gas sector and manufacturing sector. Myanmar occupies geostrategic position between most popular country, China and India. The development of Myanmar economy may depend on friendly relation with neighboring countries. So, we are maintaining good relation with neighboring country in terms of bilateral trade and investment. Moreover, as I mentioned everyone earlier in my presentation, Myanmar government is doing her best to protect COVID-19 pandemic and follow the good practice of other countries around the world for the post-pandemic recovery action. All the government agencies are currently implementing the CERP action plan to meet its goal. Moreover, Myanmar is cooperating closely with partner country, international organization and development partner to overcome the economic downturn in post-pandemic. According to Asia Development Bank ADB Development Outlook report released in last month, Myanmar GDP growth forecast in 2020 as 4.2%, second highest in Southeast Asia after neighboring Vietnam, which is estimated to grow at 4.8%. As for 2021, ADB forecast 6.8% for Myanmar GDP growth. Myanmar inflation rate are forecasted to ease slightly at 7.5% in 2020 and 2021, while per capita GDP growth is expected at 3.3% in 2020 and 5.9% in 2021 respectively. To conclude, I would like to give the contact information of our embassy as shown in the slide. We always welcome warmly and stand ready to help you regarding with Myanmar and Korea bilateral related matters. Thank you so much for your kind attention and I hope all of you are interested on my discussion. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much. The it is very interesting. She introduced some current situation of Myanmar economy impacted by the COVID-19. Especially, I'm very interested in the presentation. There will be a new restart of the flight of the Korean Air. The Korean Air will start from June 1st, and then the border to the border of Myanmar will be open to us in the soon. So I hope there will be some opening of the border of the Myanmar to the foreigners. Then we can go to the Myanmar. And also she explained some changes in bilateral trade between the Myanmar and Korea. So as expected, the trade volume the sharply decreased. So I think that after pandemic, after the coronavirus, I think there should we expect or we hope there should be more trade between two countries. Okay, and then now we'd like to move to the second presentation. So second presentation is also about the economic impact of the coronavirus on Myanmar. This time, we would like to hear some news or some fact or some trend from the Myanmar. So we contact the Woo Aung Jiso, who is a CEC member of the UMFCCI. He visited Korea, and he's a good friend of the KOMYRA. So even though he is very busy, but he took time to prepare all the presentation and took some data to give to show us how the Myanmar economy is going on. So this time I'd like to invite Woo Aung Jiso. He will explain the Myanmar current economic situation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Aung Jiso from Myanmar. I'm a member of Central Executive Committee of the Union of Myanmar Federation of Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I've been to Korea for last BAG seminar. That I also have the chance to share my country economic situation, and also again this year also have the chance to share the current state of Myanmar economy. So it is my honor to present to you now. I will start my presentation on current state of Myanmar economy. According to World Bank's calculation, in financial year 2019 to 2020, Myanmar's GDP will decrease around 2 to 3%. Next year, they estimated that it will increase around 4 to 6%. Central Statistical Organization data, our inflation rate rose from 8.81 to 9.06% in January 2020. It's only 1 month period. Myanmar Jet also appreciated against US dollar by 9% within 7-month period. Geographically, China is our neighbor country, and we have a long borderline. So naturally, China is our top trading partner and also our second largest investor. During local transmission stage, border trades to export products such as fisheries, seafood, fruits and agriculture products got affected. Next was the government export and government raw material imports. That area was affected during a pandemic stage. When it began pandemic, it has impact on our whole economy. During this COVID-19 stage, business trends started to change, and now we are trying to be ready for the new normal beyond COVID-19. Among 5 stages, hospitality and tourism industry has the severe impact of COVID-19 as other country. Here's our economic impact due to the COVID-19 by sector. There's 2 slides here. This is more details. First one is the most impact are there, and secondly, that area agriculture, fishery, livestock, electrical and electronic media, advertising, service industry, rental services. The last one is trading up to pharmaceutical and infrastructure and construction, like that one. Here's our economic impact due to the COVID-19 by sector. There's 2 slides here. This is more details. First one is the most impact are there, and secondly, that area agriculture, fishery, livestock, electrical and electronic media, advertising, service industry, rental services. The last one is trading up to pharmaceutical and infrastructure and construction, like that one. This one we are trying to explain estimated revenue loss according to the industry group. The most affected industry group is tourism, government package, CMP and SMEs. They suffer a lot. Secondly, automotive, FMCG, retail and manufacturing. This one follow to the first one. So the area, this is the estimated loss to the industry group. Thank you. Government sector accounts for 4.6 billion in export revenue. They imports 90% of raw material from China, and 70% of their exports go to EU. Now that those countries are having crisis from COVID-19, so is Myanmar government sector. Approximately 200 factories were reportedly shut down, and over 60,000 people lost their jobs. Moreover, around 50,000 migrant workers came back to country because they lost their overseas jobs as well. EU even funded $5.43 million to support and employ workers from the government and textile industry. This is, we are trading with our border. So we have the border checkpoint. So this is a trade volume at border checkpoint. So Musa is checkpoint with China. This is the busiest checkpoint. Even that one, you will see the green one is we are decreasing. Also, you see in Chinshui Hall, the green one and the line. This is also decreasing with China also. What's the progress? You see, Sitwe, the green one. This one we know we can export. Our trade volumes are rising at that point. This is our comparison of the export volume by same period. Also, import volume also by the same period. This is a comparison. I think very clear. I think you can see that one. Due to all this situation, what UMFCCI doing for that COVID-19 cases? So we submit the comparison paper of due to economic and social stimulus package from the 21 countries, and we do the policy advocate to reduce interest rate, also to support fund for MSME and COVID-19 affected sectors, also economic and social stimulus proposal. Also we do industrial impact analysis Also for recovery and growth, promoting employability through workforce resilience, sharing and beyond COVID-19. Also, we are doing the new normal webinar series. UMSCCI is doing these activities for short term, medium term, and long term. We are dealing with the government official, Trade Minister of Commerce, Minister of Planning, Finance and industry to mitigate of COVID impact on economy. Also, promote domestic demand and job creation, restructure national economic policy. So this one, will affect economic trend, the U-shape. U-shape means, already about that will be certain long time, will be deep. For pickup time or stabilized time will take some duration. For V type, more deep, the depth bar, they can stabilize and grow faster than the U. The last one is the L shape. So they are not sure for recovery. So this is facing Myanmar economy. Also, UMSCCI are trying to initiate government, also discussing a lot how we should rescue, stabilize and grow for our economy. Myanmar government is implementing following stimulus packages. Government loans 100 billion charged with 1% interest rate for CMB, hotel and tourism and MSMEs, exclusively based on a certain set of criteria. Offering tax exemption for business, reducing interest rates for the business loan. So this one they're doing, supporting for the business sector of Myanmar by government. Government is extending deadline for income tax payments and commercial tax payments. Also withholding tax exemption for exports, CERP, COVID-19 Economic Relief Plan includes details of stimulus packages to ease on the taxes and to promote investment in international trades. Providing healthcare and travel benefits for employer and employer workers, waiving 150 units of electricity charges for every household and so on. COVID-19 is not just all negative effects and disadvantages. There are opportunities for businesses from this situation as well. In the short term, certain tax will be waived or exempted. Interest rate and custom duty will be reduced. In the long term, MIC Myanmar Investment Commission gave approval for 11 new projects in manufacturing, construction and other services sector, mainly labor-intensive businesses to encourage job creation. This is also to promote foreign investment in the country. We have a couple of upcoming projects in the near future. Under Mekong Lanchan Cooperation Initiative with China will provide 6.7 million for 22 Myanmar projects for initial stage. 33 agreements will continue to implement stage under China-Myanmar Economic Corridor and Belt and Road Initiative. Major project includes Chowphu DC Port, assisted development by Seated Myanmar Consortium, and South Korea to Myanmar infrastructure projects such as Yangon Dala Bridge, Mandalay Myitkyina Railway upgrade, New Dala City, and South Korea Myanmar Industrial Complex. So thank you so much for your attention, giving the chance to share Myanmar current situation to all. So thanks again for inviting me to share the Myanmar current situation to the Korean society. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation, Wang Jiso. So he is the really busy man in Yangon. So even though he is a very busy time, I'd like to thank you to give this presentation to us. So I think that we can do by his presentation. I got some the impression. So even though Myanmar didn't have a large number of the patients of the COVID-19, but the impact of the economic impact of the coronavirus is not small. To be ignored. So this means that I think the large impact of the large economic impact of the coronavirus on Myanmar economy prove that Myanmar is a member of the global the market. I mean that the change of the global market can be affecting the Myanmar economy so large. So that means that the international trade or the global economy are the very important factors to understand of the Myanmar economy. So I think this means that there should be more the collaboration or cooperation that the Myanmar between the Myanmar and Korea to develop the Myanmar economy. So I think even though the coronavirus has a bad impact on the KOMYRA, the Myanmar economy, but I could find some hope that there should be the large room of the collaboration between Korea and Myanmar. Okay, and now I'd like to move to the third presentation. This topic is a little bit different from the first two presentations. This is the research of the consumption behavior of Myanmar, especially the Myanmar Millennial generation. So the Professor Han Jung-hyu will present does ethnocentrism still affect Myanmar millennials? I'd like to invite Professor Han Jung-hyu.
Okay, it is my great pleasure to introduce myself to this seminar. I am Chung Hyu Han, currently working for Iheha기 University, Asia Pacific School of Logistics, and this work is jointly investigated with Dr. Park Hyun-yong in Myanmar lab at Kyung University. Today, I would like to discuss the topic of Myanmar consumer research in digital age, the question of does ethnocentrism still affect Myanmar millennials? This is the topic of today's presentation. Actually, this is a part of my effort to understand Myanmar, and this is also a part of my research, but I am not explaining every detail of research methodologies or some research design things. But so one of the very, very interesting thing I found out from the Myanmar economy is that we are trying to support this country because it is one of the least developed countries in the world. Even though it has touched some thresholds to graduate from the list of less developing countries by United Nations, the United Nations is still recommending Myanmar authority to stay in the less developed countries in the world. So we are looking at one of the poorest countries in the world. However, on the other hand, it is one of the fast growing countries in the world. Yeah. So the East Asia is one of the fastest growing area in the world, and then Myanmar shows the second highest growth rate in that region. According to the world famous consulting firm PwC, it is expected that the GDP growth of Myanmar will be above 7% till 2023. Behind this development, I found out that the digitization process of Myanmar economy is very, very impressive. It has more than 54 million people. The population of the Myanmar is very, very high. But the interesting thing is that more numbers than the population, they are subscribing to mobile phones. So basically, this means that more than the number of populations in Myanmar, they are using mobile phones, and then some people are having more than one mobile phones. And also, it is included in the less developed countries in the world. Its internet usage rate and also social network service use rate is really, really high. It is more than 30% and almost reached 40%. And also, if you look at the annual growth of Myanmar in terms of its digitization, it is very, very remarkable. Because the population growth rate is less than 1%, but as you can see from the screen, they are using the growth rate of they're using mobile phones and internet and social network services. The growth rate of that kind of digitization is very, very significant and remarkable. And what I found from these characteristics of Myanmar market is that it is very similar to our country, South Korea. This is a very, very famous picture of Myanmar because of the occupation of Japan, the military troops of Myanmar. So we have, like South Korea, we have very, very similar history in terms of the relationship with Myanmar. And I was trying to understand what kind of characteristics I can observe with the Myanmar market, and find out that there is a very, very strong potential from the young Myanmar consumers. I had a talk with when I was visiting Yangon last year, and I met a lot of young students from Yangon University of Economics, and I find out that they have a very strong identity as a Myanmar people, as a Myanmar person, and they have very strong desire for the economic growth, like they want to be the second Vietnam. And also they have very, very technology-oriented attitude. They would like to use new technologies. And also they are open to the international cultures, such as Korean cultures. And it is very interesting to see that 1/3 of the population of Myanmar, they are young. So 1/3 of the population, Myanmar population is millennial consumers. So I was trying to conceptualize these Myanmar millennials to Myanmar consumers to millennial consumers. In fact, there are a huge number of research about millennial consumers in the world, because the baby boomers, they are retiring, and also the Generation X, they already touched their highest purchasing power level, and the age of millennial consumers is emerging. And it is very interesting to see that more than 20 years ago, the number of millennial consumers in developing countries outnumbered the number of millennials in developed countries. So we are living in a world of millennial consumers, especially in developing countries like Myanmar. And millennial consumers, they are very, very intensively discussed consumers because they have their own characteristics. When there is a large product or large supplies of services, compared to baby boomers, Generation Y, this is the same as the millennial consumers, they do not fear with a large number of products or services. They take this as a good opportunity to explore their purchasing opportunity. And with the use of internet, when there is a large amount of information, they think that the information is a very, very good chance to explore, to navigate the world global consumption patterns. And also they are very socially oriented people because they use social network services. And they are very, very open to the international cultures and international products. So these are the millennial consumer characteristics which are identified from the developed countries. And I am trying to use these characteristics to describe the millennial consumers in Myanmar. So what I thought is that if I look at the millennial consumers in Myanmar, that would provide a very, very good context about millennial consumer research in developing countries, because Myanmar is one of the fast-growing developed countries in the world. So to understand Myanmar millennials, I was thought that the millennial consumer characteristics should be included. So I'm going to test the millennial consumers' characteristics in Myanmar context would have very similar characteristics to the millennial consumers in developed countries. And also to consider the developing country specific context, I included consumer ethnocentrism because Myanmar used to have a very, very bad experiences with Japanese military power like we did. So this will provide very Myanmar or developing countries a specific context in Southeast Asia. So what I did is that for the independent variables, I have 3 variables. The first one is technological innovativeness, which is explaining the intensive use of IT technologies like mobile phones and computers, laptop computers, to explore the chances to have more experiences on the internet. And the second one is social orientation. This is about spend the time and money to socialize with their peer groups like friends or colleagues or families as well. And the last one was cosmopolitanism. This is about their mindset to the international cultures and international products. So I am looking at if this type of characteristics of Myanmar millennials, they have a positive relationship to buy foreign products like from Japan, from South Korea, or from the USA. And I would like to want to explore if their ethnocentrism is still affecting the relationship between that Myanmar millennial characteristics negatively. Ethnocentrism means the identity of Myanmar people, because they think that, some of them think that buying foreign products will threaten the Myanmar economy. So they are thinking that they don't have to buy the foreign products, because to keep the Myanmar economy more healthy, they kind of thinking to keep the economies more healthy. So to examine if there is any negative impact of consumer ethnocentrism to the millennial consumers in Myanmar, I provided, I circulated with some questionnaires. So last July, with colleagues of KOMYRA and Kyunghee University, I visited Yangon University of Economics and then distributed this questionnaire to examine if the research model I provided in the previous slide is valid. And by hiring the informants in YUE, around 30 informants, we have distributed about 500 questionnaires, and we get 483 questionnaires back, and they are very, very well distributed. And I have used that questionnaire data set with a research method called partial list structural equation modeling. This is very good to find out the relationship of specific variable to the target variable. So very, very suitable for the research model I have developed to this research. And this is my finding. So in sum, Myanmar millennial consumers, they have very, very similar characteristics to the millennial consumers in developed countries. They are very, very technological, innovative, and they are very, very socially oriented people. And they are very, very cosmopolitan people, because they accept a large number of global products and international cultures as well. And these type of characteristics, they affect the buying intention for foreign products. So they are very keen on to buy foreign products from South Korea, from the USA, from Japan. So in this stage, we found out that Myanmar millennial consumers, they are very similar to the normal millennial consumers in developed countries like South Korea and Japan. But there is another finding. In terms of technological innovativeness or social orientation, the consumer ethnocentrism of these Myanmar millennial consumers, it does not have any negative impact. But in terms of cosmopolitanism, when they think that they have to open their mind to the global products or global culture, the consumer ethnocentrism still affect the positive attitude of these millennial consumers to buy foreign products in a very, very negative way. In other words, even though they are very technological, innovative, and socially oriented, and open-minded to global culture, even though they are very, very young people, they still have ethnocentrism. They fear about their economy when they buy foreign products. So they worry about buying foreign products, and they worry about the unemployment rate of their economy when they buy foreign products. That kind of way of thinking is observed. So, in sum, consumer ethnocentrism still affecting Myanmar consumers at the moment. So, I was very, very curious if this ethnocentrism is still affecting the Myanmar consumers. And within the context of millennial consumers in Myanmar, the consumer centrism is confirmed, it is valid. So this provides a lot of implications for the Korean firms and also to multinational corporations. We know that Myanmar millennials, they are very, very keen on Korean wave. So a lot of companies they are using Korean idols and heroes to promote Myanmar millennial consumers' purchase intention of Korean goods. But I think that we need to be very careful in using that kind of Korean wave. They are very keen on Korean wave, but on the other hand, in their mind, there will be some type of ethnocentrism. Even though they are looking very positive on Korean wave, in some ways, they will have some ethnocentrism. So they are worrying about their own economy. So I would like to say that in making some international business, we need to think about their identity as a Myanmar citizen. So we need to provide some chance to have some relationships with Myanmar celebrities in using Korean wave as a promoting tool for the Korean products. And also, I would like to suggest in having international business for Myanmar market, more localized and regionalized strategy is required. So we have to listen to the voice of the local customers and local workers. So some kind of joint ventures to listen to the voice of the local customers' demand is required. And also there are a lot of suggestions made by international institutions like KOMYRA in South Korea, and they are delivering some kind of strategies to understand the Myanmar market. And I found that their suggestions are very, very macro level. They are looking at the economic growth rates, and there's some economic regulations and market changes, the kind of things. But by looking at this type of segmentation, Myanmar millennial consumers, I would like to suggest that some micro and consumer level promotion policy or strategies are required to understand the Myanmar market. This is the end of my presentation. Thanks for your interest to my work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is very interesting, the presentation, to understand the Myanmar consumer, not just only for the Myanmar millennial, but also for the Myanmar people themselves. Actually, every time I visit the Myanmar, one of the topics we are discussing, or we are talking with the Myanmar people, is about the economic development of Myanmar. So most of the people in Myanmar is very interested in the economic development, especially the future of the Myanmar. So actually, when we think about the future of the Myanmar, then this kind of topic can attracting only for the older generation. But the Professor Hans research say that the future of the Myanmar mean that the economic development of the Myanmar can be some topic for the young generation. So I think that it's kind of some patriotism or some the Myanmar millennial have some great affection about their country. So I think it is a good factor or a good the thought that can lead to the economic development of Myanmar. So this kind of research, from this kind of research, I think the future of the Myanmar is not is the bright because the new millennials are very interested in the economic development. So I think so that and also the Professor Han give a good implication from for the companies who to which trying to enter the Myanmar market. So because the Myanmar people are very interested in the economic development too, so they need to consider, they need to include some the factors to share some the economic development or development of the Myanmar. So not only it can be the bad the strategy just only to have some the profit searching. So I think that when we enter the developing country, especially the like Myanmar, then we need to find some way to some collaboration or some the joint prosperity the strategy. So I think that it is a great the presentation and give many implications for us as well as some of the companies preparing to enter the Myanmar. Okay, now we have 3 presentations. 2 are on the coronavirus impact on the Myanmar economy. So on that the issues, we invited 2 the presentation. So one from the economic counselor, the Win Papatu, and the other one is from the UNFCCI at the Uang Jiso. So we can understand the current economic situation impacted by the coronavirus. And also the third presentation, we have the research on the consumer behavior of Myanmar millennials. So we will have a discussion on this topic after this session. So before we go to the discussion session, so we will have a 5-minute the break, and then if we have some the question or if we have some comment on these topics, we can chat on the Facebook. Then we will try to answer the all questions. So because the Uang Jiso is in the Yangon right now, so if we cannot answer the questions directly, and then we will contact him later and then post the answers on the Facebook and the YouTube. And thank you very much for the participation. We will be back just in 5 minutes. Thank you.